Because watch this. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thought I wasn't going to be here, didn't you? How's everybody doing this morning? Oh, we got to put in the wrong. Got it going on here. There we go. MCB Ventures. All right. What do we? And here I am on the satellite. Here I am on the satellite, so you may see some lagging. I'm still gonna brag about. Boy, everything disconnected for a minute. I don't understand what happened. I'm gonna still brag on Starlink though. Not sure what I would do without them. I'm still a little discombobulated this morning. Was on the road all week. Went and helped a company out, and over in North Carolina they needed some help, and I was fortunate enough they gave me a call, see if I'd go help them with the project. So I beat feet over there. And why is it saying? Anyway, I beat feet over there Monday afternoon. Well, I left out here before lunchtime. They called me Monday morning and needed me out there Monday, and it was like, whoa, okay. My old Starlink must be acting up this morning. But anyway, I beat feet out there, got there on Monday, and got oriented and all that. Spent a couple days getting oriented with the customer or the client company. And I'm still, and I had to take all the computer stuff, and I got back Friday night, late Friday night, and Saturday I didn't do anything but go get a haircut. And yesterday I just watched a little TV, hung out. But anyway, this morning I had to get up and get all these computer gadgets reset so I could be with y'all this morning, because I didn't even think about it yesterday afternoon. I was being so darn lazy. But anyway, here we are. Here I am. Glad to be here with you fellas and ladies. Hope everybody's had a good week. I don't understand. Let me check my Starlink. Y'all bear with me. I still love Starlink now compared to that outfit we had in here before. It's just, I don't know what the... She's a drawing power, though. I don't understand that. But we are here. And all the leaves are on the tree, so I get a lot more obstruction. I've never put the dish up yet. I got one dish that needs to go on top of the house. And hell, I hadn't done it yet. It says downloads up there around 80. Should be close to 200. And the uploads running about 10 or 12. I'd like to see it run a little. It should be running a little faster. And it's got to do with the position of my light, my disc. Anyway, glad I could be with y'all this morning. I'm still goofing off, trying to get myself. I need to do a reset on this studio. I may do that today after I get through doing a couple other things. I still got to go for the walk. Anyway, what's the weather like this week, boys and girls? Y'all send me a message if you send me a message. Send me a message as I go through my messages this morning. I'm checking the weather for you guys. It was supposed to storm yesterday here at home. And, wow. I've had chances of rain since, for 2 weeks now, and rain a little bit every day. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I'm glad I could be with y'all this morning. 5 a.m. Monday morning, rocking and rolling, ain't we? Send me a message, send me a text, tell me where you're working, what you're doing out there. I'm interested. I don't even know if I'm getting out. I don't know what the quality of the video is like, or audio, or anything. So, y'all let me know. What is that? I'm still sitting here looking at doodads and gadgets, wondering, what is this? What is that? There's a couple. Wonder what I could use them for. Anyway, I'm going to, well, what'll happen is I'll get it all set up, and I get another phone call. Want me to be somewhere and go somewhere and do something. But that's okay, heck, man. I really had a wonderful time. It was it's a plant demolition, and they're in the preliminary stages doing preliminary work. When you get on these big chemical plants or power plants, you know, there's before you could do, it's a wrecking job. It's a big wrecking job. But before you can get to wrecking, you got to get to, it's the strangest thing. You know, before you can demo, you got to clean it. Because, you know, in certain environments, it produces all kinds of dust and dirt and stuff that could have contaminants in it. And you do inspections and wipe downs to see what you got to deal with. And then you got to clean all that up. And you have guys in containment doing that, actual containment, cleaning up the dust and stuff that the plant has accumulated after decades of operation. And then you demo it, and then you clean up the demo. So I guess housekeeping is the best way to describe the job, you know. If you, it's interesting. I had a good visit with some of the guys. I hadn't seen some of them in a long time. I hadn't seen some of them in a number of years, and it was good to get out there and see them and visit with them. And be a part of the team, be a part of the team temporarily. Wasn't like I was walking into a strange place. I hadn't seen or met anybody there before, so that was a relief to have some familiar faces to look at. And it was good, and they had a real good team there, a cohesive team that was working well together and doing the things that are required under corporate EHS and OSHA, and then under the EHS of the contracting company. So really had a good time out there visiting with them, and I appreciated the opportunity to get out there. But now I'm glad to be back here with you guys, getting out there early in the morning and hustling around. Trying to get ready to go to work. The same routine, rubbing the sleep out of your eyes. And this may not be a good time to be doing it, but I don't want to do it during work hours. And I want to do it in the evening time when you're wore out. So Monday mornings, and I figure everybody's bleary eyed and needs motivation to start their work week. And that's why I decided on this Monday morning platform, this Monday morning time frame. Even though I hadn't had anybody, I don't think I've had anybody join the live stream. I have seen some views or people watched it afterwards. Maybe they'll remember. It takes a while, and I understand that. And I'm doing it for my benefit as well as anybody else's, because some of you who know me know that I do another live stream and on Thursdays and make a couple other videos throughout the week. So here I am. There you are. And weather, rain. Demolition guys don't mind the rain too much because they don't have to worry about dust control too much. Steel workers, they worry about the rain. Concrete workers, yeah, it could cause problems when they're trying to pour. If it's too much. If it's not very much, they'll get out there and work in it. It's muddy. Poor old dudes out there, I've seen them. Infrastructure, sometimes they'll get out there and dig. It depends on how deep the mud goes and how much they got to peel off the top. They don't want to mess with it. If it's too muddy, it creates a bigger mess. But anybody who's part of that type of operation, feel free to give us a comment and tell us what kind of work it is for you. I need to, like I said, I'm a little discombobulated. I don't even have my darn thing up. Let me see if I can. I don't even have my TV on. Well, I'll see if I can get my logo up for you guys. Oh, there it goes again. Y'all just stay with me. And I'm still trying to get things jigulated here. And I hope y'all didn't lose me during this little transition, but y'all can see what I'm doing. There it is. And get my little, oh man, there it is. Let's see, bing, bing. I feel better about it now. There I am. All right. Like I said, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. This is Middleclassbubba Monday morning live stream. We live stream every Monday morning from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I do it at 5 a.m. because I figure you guys are out there picking up guys and might need wouldn't mind a little motivation to get your blood flowing, your juices flowing this morning. I need to remodel my thing too. Remodel my office. I'm sitting here looking at all this mess. It is a real mess. I could show you. I don't even know if this thing's even still on. Let me look. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, it ain't on. So I ain't even. Let me get back to my. Sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. Show y'all around the office. See what y'all think. Let's see if I got it up. See, there we go. Look at that. This is the desk I'm looking at. All right. Don't look too bad. You know, microphone and the controls. But look at this rat's nest back here, boys and girls. Y'all want to see something? This is something I really need to work on. Look at all this. There's that view. More stuff. I just came in off the road. Like I said, that's my part of my travel kit. But yeah, I'll get to. Let me see. Oh, y'all see all the darn wires. Looks like a bunch of dang rat's nest back there. Anyway, there's a video. I mean, the camera you see me on. Anyway, there we go. You got to take a peek at the rat's nest that I'd like to have better organized. I don't know how to do it, but I might do that today. And go for a walk. My morning routine, go for a walk and listen to Mike Slater. If y'all get XM radio, he's on the Patriot channel. Monday, every morning at 6, but I'd like to listen to him on Monday mornings at 6 because he has a section of his program in his Monday morning where he talks about being grateful, and I like listening to him. People call in and say what they're grateful for, and if you can start your day being grateful. Hard to do some mornings. If you can start your day being grateful, and then you have really started your day, as my humble opinion, in the right way. So anyway, maybe somebody will scroll through this morning and see me yappering and stop by. Or send me a text and let me say hey. And you know, this live stream, you don't necessarily got to watch the video section. You can listen. Any modern vehicle within the past, I don't know, probably 8-10 years probably now has Bluetooth connection. You can Bluetooth your your phone into your truck or car and just listen, and boy, I'm still fat. I've been working on that, walking and exercising. I might be in better shape, and yesterday sure didn't help, man. I had all kinds of stuff yesterday I shouldn't have eaten. I had some, what do you call them things, graham crackers with some whipped cream on them. My wife makes little ice cream sandwiches. Then I had a real bowl of ice cream. And so I'm suffering and recovering. You know, when you got issues with your blood sugar because you're too heavy or whatever, but I do, and I'm struggling with it. I guess a doc calls it type 2, and always up my ass for the past 6 or 7 years to watch what I eat and exercise. And I do have an exercise routine. And on this job, I made an effort to walk a mile and a half every day. Just to try to maintain my schedule. Of course, it gets tougher in the summertime. You know, polar bear don't mind the cold, but heat kind of gets to him, and I'm the same way. While I was on this project, the client company has their own safety program. This is a pretty big outfit, and they were talking about, they wanted just every day to speak about they call theirs the pre-job brief, but I always call it the PTP. And these were old hands I was talking to, but it never hurts. You can't talk about it enough, making sure that people understand, uh, all the risk associated with the tasks they're going to be doing that day. Um, and, uh, and making sure that they understand it, and to identify the hazards that's associated with the tasks they're going to be doing. Are there overhead hazards? Is people working overhead? Is there equipment on the job? Is there inhalation hazards? Are there noise hazards? Is there heavy equipment on the job? All these are should be considered hazards, and it don't mean it's dangerous. It just means that there's things you should be aware of on the job site. And the PTP, or the pre-job brief, is a tool, a document used to let people know, the workers and the manager and everybody know what the hazards are. Look out for equipment, because somebody might fail to inspect their equipment, don't know their backup alarm don't work, or the flashing indicators might not be working. So if you're aware of it and you see it, then you have a responsibility to point that out and let people know what the hazards are. And you do that in a written form, and they sign it, and signifying they understand it. And that causes everybody to really take a look at their work and keep an eye on each other. And, if a guy is not inspecting his equipment, say, "Hey man, you gonna inspect that equipment?" Or if you see a piece of equipment but it's not making the appropriate backup beep 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 warning sounds, and you can let him know that. And those pre-job briefs also provide an opportunity for you to look your coworker in the eye and see if there's any issues with him. Is he not feeling well? Maybe he's having problems at home, and you could be aware of it and give him additional glances throughout the day and make sure he's focused on his work. Now, the responsibility of writing the pre-job brief, or the PTP, falls upon foremen and supervisors. It's their job to do the documentation. However, for the rest of us, that doesn't mean that we're not responsible for something. If we recognize a hazard on the job site, we need to say, "Hey, Mr. Foreman, Mr. Supervisor, are you aware of this hazard's going on out there, this potential hazard? You aware of this? You aware of that?" And help keep him on track. And because, hey, listen, I don't care how good a supervisor or a foreman they are far from perfect, just like you and me. And they're good with their good intentions. They may overlook a hazard that you may very well be aware of. So if you see a hazard involved with a task, or you recognize a hazard that's involved with the task you're about to perform, let your supervisor know. Whoever's doing that pre-job brief, or that PTP, whatever you want to call it, let them know so he can include it in there and have a discussion on it. And that makes your coworkers aware of the hazard as well. Anyway, and had a considerable amount of equipment on this job I was just on, and I'm just bringing with you some experiences I had through the week. And that had haul roads where off-road trucks were going, and me, I think I was the only one who walked the site. And I mean, walked the site. It's a huge, it's a 1,000-acre site. And I made the effort to walk the site, just to walk it. And I was near the haul roads, and when I saw a piece of equipment coming, I stepped off to the side, and the closer he got, uh, I stopped and made eye contact with him, throwed up a hand, let him know that I saw him, and he threw up his hand, and then he didn't recognize me. And a couple of times I had to pass by some excavators at work, loading trucks or whatever. And as I approached, I would stop and look into the cab, and the operator would say, give me the hands to go ahead. And I'd say, I'm going this way. Or if I'm going this way, I would let him know, and he'd nod, and I'd make my passage. And most of the equipment nowadays has cameras in the back of it. And as I passed, I would wave and let him know I was past him. He could see me in the mirror, and he'd know that I was moving on and it was safe to go back to operation. And all this stuff was done in motion. It cost very little time. Uh, and it created an environment where, okay, we're looking out for everybody. Uh, and it takes somebody, I was doing it, and other people were doing the same kind of thing. Hey, I'm here, I'm going over there, and make the eye contact with the operator. So try and take that to your job site. Try and take that mentality in those procedures and processes to your job site. Not only will it make you look professional, it will make you professional. And client companies, it gives them a sense of relief to see that that's part of your routine. Anyway, how was Father's Day? Anybody have anybody have a cookout or meals cooked for them, and messages from their children? If you got grown children like I have, all the grown children sent me a message. Uh, I was glad to hear from them. Wife is out of town, so it was a quiet day for me, and I decided to be lazy, just have a quiet Father's Day. And I talked to my father on Saturday, and I sent him a message in the evening wishing him a happy Father's Day. Anyway, that's my Father's Day story. Hope y'all had a good one. You young fathers with young children, I remember the days. That's something when you're small children. Offer you up a token, whether it's a hug and a kiss or doing something a little special for you, and they're doing it because they love you. They may have some encouragement from their mamas and grandmamas, but still, they're learning. They're learning what it means to honor your father. So I hope everyone had a grateful and interesting and beautiful day with their children. But now it's Monday morning. We got to get back to work. When you looked at them faces yesterday and them bright eyes and the thoughts of love, and you remember why you're getting out here this morning and hustling along so you can take care of your family, take care of those children. Anyway, moving along. Somebody send me a comment. It's hard to fill up an hour of space without, I can get in here and plan all kinds of stuff, but it's a lot funner when you have somebody commenting. And I know I'm a good looking man, and I'm looking at myself, and I know I got all kinds of good words to use. But still, it's I'd like to make this more of a participatory stream where people participate, call in, say hey, call in, say, golly, man, got to deal with all these knuckleheads. Well, the good thing about Father's Day, most of you had a cookout or something, and you probably got a lunch pail that's probably loaded down with some leftovers from a pretty good meal. Uh, Maybe they'll last you for a day or two. And your wife won't have to cook this evening, too, probably. Uh, Father's Day meal is a gift that just keeps on going. Eat it Father's Day, you eat it for lunch on the following Monday, and dinner on the following Monday. What more could a man ask for? Because you probably got your favorite meal being Father's Day and all. So it's like me, I'm get to craving them old collard greens and black eyed peas or pinto beans or kidney beans or whatever, and make a big old pot and you get to eat them for 3 or 4 days. But I about give that up. I put them in the freezer. I'll eat them the day I cook them, and then maybe keep some for the next day, and the rest of them I put them in the freezer, and I take them out from time to time. Anyway, gonna be wet today. Looks like it's raining all over the world. Um, biggest hazard when it's raining is slip, trips, and falls. Um, so be careful out there, and then driving to work, man. I don't know what it is about people who are, when it rains, they seem like they want to go faster and maneuver quicker. I don't understand it. Y'all help me understand it. Uh, kind of spooky way people behave. But anyway, um, y'all be careful out there in this rain this morning, in this wet roads and crazy people, and then you throw in the holiday traffic. I know in Atlanta, you got I-20, I-75, I-85, two northbound heavy traffic lanes. Atlanta's kind of a hub in the southeast. There's a lot of traffic flowing through it. And those exchanges in downtown Atlanta and those bypasses, they're confusing for people who come from a more rural area. They only got one interstate 25 miles away, and here they are traversing country going to the beach or coming from the beach or whatever. And you throw them in the mix, and then you get the weather and the people who are in a hurry running late. It gets to be messy out there. Um, I guess it's kind of a blessing to have traffic because it slows everybody down. But normally the traffic is because somebody made a dumb maneuver and created an accident. And then you got, 1 hour delays, hour and a half delays. And if you don't count for those, you're going to be late. So make sure you count for them, especially if you got, you're a foreman and got a couple guys that rely on you to pick them up and take them to work every day. Please be careful out there. Get to work safely and then get home safely. There we go. I'm about talked out. Let's see what else we can come up with. So, I like what a guy said the other day. He says, it's okay to be mad. Just keep it to a minimum. Don't let some fool acting crazy in traffic make you mad the rest of the day. Just look at him and go, good Lord, man. As long as you're driving slow and you're not in that mindset of being in a rush, you can watch the bumper cars around you as long as you're maintaining good following distances and keep an eye on the traffic and giving ample warning, using your blinkers, all that good stuff. And the accidents will happen around you, but the odds of you being involved in one by being a defensive driver is far less by being a defensive driver. So anyway, I guess that's enough about rain and driving. Somebody leave me a comment. Listen, if you're flipping through here and you see this funny looking fat guy on here yammering about meaningless stuff, give me a giggle, give me a thumbs up, and give me a comment. I don't care what you call me. Man, you goofy looking. Yeah, it's like being married, you know. You want to hear your wife say something, you know. I don't know what this thing is. Anybody ever seen one of these? Got all these connections. And I wonder. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I showed you all the old rat's nest. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to figure out how to do a quick connect and disconnect on some of this stuff and route some of this wiring more efficiently. And then be able to disconnect this stuff and run up out of here when I need to go do other stuff. Because I did two videos and a live stream while I was on the road this week, and I was in a hotel room, and I guess it looked all right. You know, it seemed all right, but it just ain't nothing near as comfortable as your own office when you're out there on the road and you're having to do this stuff. So it's a balancing act, and you enjoy getting out there, and then you have the pain trying to get things done that you normally do while you're on the road. But it was worth it, and I'd do it again. Anyway. Wow. Yeah. I'm looking at I'm 9,000 kilobits. And I've got a 19% frame rate drop. I don't know what all that means. And I've been live streaming for 37 minutes and 22 seconds. And says I'm doing it at 30 frames a minute, and I'm using less than 1% of my CPU. I don't know. I have another, it's one of them NVIDIA deals, so it's another CPU doing all the heavy lifting. I'll tell you what, things have really come a long way when they first doing video. I had one of them first video cameras, and I thought I was BA, badass. It was a 1.3 megapixel camera, and I was recording video with a computer. And now it's HDR or 4K, and it's not even stressing the machine with that 1.3 on that 386 processor. Boy, it was a struggle, and you thought you was a hot shot. And now it's just plug and play. It's pretty interesting the way things have evolved in the way of technology. And you know, it's I was on that job site that I mentioned this week, and there's some young dudes on there, and they know how to get their specialized knowledge as fast as they can plug it into YouTube and look for it. And you know, you have enough information to know what you're looking at is real or not. You know, you can determine what the stuff you're looking at is the real thing or not. So, you know, to be successful, you got to be able to find you need specialized knowledge. You know, you used to have to look for a book or ask somebody who had the experience, and now experience still does a lot for you. You can learn how to do something on the YouTube, but the experience of putting your hands into the work, that's where the experience comes from. But it's a wonderful world where we can have the information at our fingertips, and if you know how to look it up, you get the information you need when you need it. So it's we're fortunate in this world where we can get things done in a more timely and effective manner just by the use of technology. And the same thing with this AI, people have these conspiracy theories where they think that AI is going to take over the world. Ah, maybe, maybe. But one thing I've discovered about AI is it's still garbage in, garbage out. You get on there and you send Chat GPT to look up stupid stuff. It's going to look up stupid stuff and return it to you. Uh, if you want to know if aliens are living in your septic system, you can Google or ask your Chat GPT or your AI, is aliens living in the septic system? And there's plenty of fools out there that has preceded you with that question, who have developed a knowledge base of things about aliens living in your septic system. There might be aliens living in your septic system. I don't know, man. Anyway, garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. So, anyway, what kind of work are y'all doing? Concrete, steel workers? Is a lot of steel being erected in the southeast right now, or is it kind of slacked off? I hadn't seen as many cranes in the air when I drive through the monster to the south of me called Atlanta. I haven't noticed as much many cranes in the air, so it makes me wonder whether we got foundational work going on. I guess I need to figure that out, do my own research, and see what jobs are kicking off, and see where we're at. But anyway, send me a text and tell me what kind of work not a text, a message on this board. Send me a comment. Let me know what kind of work we're doing out there. Let me know where you're headed to, what you're doing. Hanging steel, digging foundations, framing foundations, doing interior finishes, interior remodels. Let me know what's going on out there. I want to hear it from you ground guys. Now, you other guys, you factory workers and all that, I want to know what you're doing too. Big push to bring production back into this country, and I appreciate that. We really need, we need the basics. We need companies out there who make shoes and make shirts and jeans and underwear and socks. Been a lot of noise about. Granted, I buy most of my stuff from the secondhand stores, except for socks and underwear. I believe in buying that stuff first and still in the package, because I don't know the what do you call it, where you take care of yourself? Sanitation habits, or the cleanliness habits of a lot of people whose stuff goes through the thrift store. I always wear a t-shirt because I don't know who wore this shirt before I did. More likely it's some dead dude, his wife sent all his stuff off or divorced. I'm wearing either a dead man's shirt or a divorced man's shirt. Same way with the pants I'm wearing, I'm sure. Anyway, interesting thought. So if somebody's looking to form their own business, maybe consideration as far as perhaps learning how to build shoes, make shoes. I'd love to have me a pair of shoes made by a craftsman in this country. That would be, really nice. We eat a lot of beef. There ought to be a lot of leather in this country. Instead of shipping it off to foreign lands, maybe we ought to use it. Where I live at in the South, they used to have the phrase King Cotton. Uh, I don't know if cotton is still king or not, but if we manufactured our own clothing here, that'd be a big boom for the farmers. Especially hemp and cotton. You know, um, Back when this country was first founded, hemp was grown a lot. I believe even old George Washington had a few crops of hemp. Now, I don't know if it was I don't know if they poked it in their pipes and fired it up or not, but they certainly used it for clothing, for fabric, for making clothes, a burlap to package their goods in and ship them to different parts of the country. Um, so I think it'd be wonderful if we started manufacturing that kind of stuff. And I don't know how well the jobs would pay, but the alternative is if we had to try and get them when shipping lanes are disrupted, or having trade disputes with foreign countries and we couldn't get the material, the prices are going to go up anyway. And I don't know. That's just my thought. There is an outfit, and I hadn't bought them yet, but they make. I've been, looking for some American made stuff. A company out of Oklahoma, and I can't remember the town that they're out of, but Roundhouse coveralls. They make blue jeans too, but I've been looking at them. I've been thinking about going to the coveralls, wearing just coveralls again. Like the old farmers that had a white or blue poplin shirt, long sleeve, keep sun off of them, and coveralls. I've been thinking about going back to that style. Good pair of walking shoes or work shoes, sewn together, not glued together. Maybe, I don't know. And that's where I'm headed. So if you see this and hear this, think about that. Think about how that might fit into it. It would employ. Gummit, Starlink, you fell out on me again. But I spent a great deal of time traveling the South, these small towns that had a small manufacturing facility that made clothing or shoes and stuff like that. And this was back in the early 80s, before NAFTA and trade agreements all over the world. And I've watched it slowly fade away. Hell, I've done some demolition of some of these old clothing manufacturers, and looking back on it, it's a shame that those kind of jobs have dried up. And it'd be good to have them back, I think. Hell, I might get me a job in one of them. They sit there behind the sewing machine all day. But I wouldn't be opposed to it if I need the money and need to buy some beans and coffee. I would probably do that kind of work. Anyway, got about 7 more minutes according to my watch. What time is it? Got about 6 more minutes according to my time keeping devices here. Anyway, so I'm running out of things to say. Even my tires is made in China or some places. I don't even. Now I know they make some tires up there in somewhere in the Carolinas. I went by, I can't remember the name of it, Toyo or one place. So we still make a few tires, but I'm not sure where we get the raw material from. I don't know if you can even. I think they make them out of petroleum mostly now. They used to make them out of that old rubber from South and Central America and Indonesia, them old rubber plantations where they would, just like the old turpentine. I remember as a young man going to visit family down in South Georgia, going through the heart of South Georgia, and they'd be pine tree plantations everywhere. And I still remember people out there. I can remember the buckets hanging from the trees, and I was probably 6, 7, 8, 10 years old by the time that I remember that. Collecting the old turpentine, same way I guess they do that rubber in those rubber growing regions of the world. Kind of cool. Kept people working. They weren't high paying jobs, but hell, anything you do today is not really high paying in comparison. I think it's they flush the money around and looking for pennies here and pennies there in profit. And I don't know. Business has a responsibility to its shareholders, and I guess they're going to maintain that responsibility to the shareholders. Nothing wrong with that, I don't reckon. We all want to make a little money. Anyway, that's why we're up at 5 o'clock in the morning and rolling, right? A lot of mornings, I'm like, I don't really have to do this. But I get up and do it, And that's the first thing you have to do every morning is change your outlook. I know I do. On that old bed feeling good, and that old alarm is going off, and when you made a commitment and you got to get rolling. Now, they've been people I've known in my life that they'd make a commitment and that alarm go off and they just roll over and go back to sleep and had no sense of duty or accountability or responsibility or any of that stuff. And that's mostly a young person problem. But when I get out there in the field and I see you young men that are crawling out of the bed and hitting after it, I'm real proud to see you getting out there and doing it. And I know that if you decide, you can always do something better. All you got to do is put your mind, body, and spirit in motion toward that direction, and it'll happen for you. And it's hard to maintain a sense of urgency and a sense of responsibility when, you want to do other things young men and women that would much rather be doing instead of doing the responsible thing and upholding their commitments. I get it. But the difference between you and poverty is your desire to fulfill your commitment that you have made, whether it's financial or personal or religious or whatever. So, as we get ready to close this thing out, commit to yourself, commit to others. Get out there and make it happen. Not only for yourself, build yourself a reputation. Build yourself a reputation of being dependable. Build yourself a reputation of accountability, where you know that people can rely on you, can count on you to be there when you say you're going to be there. And you do that basic thing and educate yourself with specific knowledge or specific or information that you need to get the job done, and success will be yours in the long run. It takes time. Now you have to build your reputation of being dependable and accountable and all that stuff. And the only way you get that is by being dependable and being accountable. And it takes years. It takes years. It takes an effort. But in the long term, it's worth it. And so in closing, I appreciate you. If you scroll by here and see me yapping away, know that I'm proud of you for being up early in the morning, getting things done. And as always, have a grateful day and have a grateful week. Leave me a comment, and we will see you next time.